Thanks for tuning in to the Medevac Podcast, powered by the Robert Irvine Foundation, whose mission is to support and strengthen the physical and mental well-being of our nation's heroes and their families. I'm one of your hosts, David Reed.
And I'm your other host, Christian Myers. Thank you very much for joining us today on the Medevac Podcast. If you're new here, there's a price for the show. You have to share it with a friend or family member if you're getting something out of today's episode. If you're not new here, I know you've heard that before, go ahead and do it anyways. Pretty please.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz.
The things that we're supposed to tell you to do. Because
our guest
will yell at us otherwise. Our guest today is Josh Deaton. He's a very, very interesting character. He is a Marine Corps veteran for a few years, serial entrepreneur, and is now the founder and runs Sideways, which is a restaurant in Dallas, Texas.
Rockwall,
Texas.
Yep. And there is a great pride and difference between Rockwall and Dallas.
It's all Dallas to me, but it's like saying Los Angeles, and then
I've noticed the veteran community is huge in Rockwall.
Oh, once you get over that second bridge coming from Dallas and you get into Rockwall, it's pretty much
is that what that
you're on a military
is?
base.
That
pretty
blocking
much
point. Yeah, there's a blocking point, a bridge. There's
you might as well start saluting.
Tanks pointed out.
Exactly. Yeah, we got a huge veteran community. I mean,
that's what it seems like.
Yeah, so we do a lot of stuff out there. Most of the events are all geared towards veterans out there, you know, so we do a lot of clay shoots, things like that, and just any charity events, it's literally all veteran stuff. So
that's fantastic.
Mayor is fantastic.
Joe Hannison.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. Aaron, right, is all up in there.
Aaron
as well, our mutual friend.
Run all of that, Dude's involved in just about everything out there.
Yeah.
So how did you get linked? How did you end up in Rockwall? So I'm curious because obviously a ton of veterans land there, but how did you land there?
Mine was just because of work. So I literally I got out of the Marine Corps and I started some companies, and but I got into the car business at one point, and kind of rose through there pretty quickly, and a guy that was my GM then was trying to get the point in Rockwall.
Okay.
It was a Honda dealership. So I moved to Rockwall. He wanted me to come there and work with him at that dealership, and it was going to be a big pay raise. So I was like, adios. I was Pancho Via'd out of and went straight to Rockwall.
Sure.
And then I got in touch with Aaron Withrow. He contacted me at some point, and the rest was history.
No surprise.
Yeah. That guy's in everything.
He is.
So.
Yeah, he dabbles. Well, that's interesting. So you said you were a serial entrepreneur too. You kind of bounced around between businesses.
Yep.
Did you have an idea of what you wanted to do, or you just didn't want to work for someone else?
Well, it was a combination.
Sure.
Honestly, so it was just how to make things more streamlined and just easier for everybody, and it's just ideas. So I got in the car business and then got out of the car business, and then that's when I started all my companies. But I did have a company when I was in high school. I had a company called Platinum Investments where I flipped. I didn't have any credit and I didn't have any money, so I was doing for sale by owner stuff, and and
in high school, huh?
Yeah, and just flipping properties, doing that, and
so
anyways,
from a young age,
it was.
You had this kind of entrepreneurial spirit to you. Let me ask you this: the Marine Corps, what kind of tools did that give you, kind of to bring to the table in that entrepreneurial world?
It was a lot. I didn't. Mostly it was just direction, and self-belief, like it built a level of confidence to where, like, I was never a person that gave up. Like I was almost like OCD on some things. Like once I'm going on something, it's like, I got to be the best at it,
Sure.
and it gets exhausting, and one of the things that the Marine Corps taught me is, like, sometimes I would have some self-belief, like it's easy for me to just quit because nobody's pushing me, but once someone's pushing me and showing me some leadership and what a true man is, it was game changer, and I got off of there, and it's like my world opened up, and I was ready to get after it. I was like, I really don't know if I want to work for anybody. The car business was really good to me.
Okay.
It was a means to an end, I guess, to where I was able to save a lot of money and start these other businesses.
Sure. Yeah.
And just, paid myself what I was worth, and took a gamble on myself, and, they paid off. So
good.
Worked out pretty well.
That's awesome. So how did you land on restauranting? Did
Well-
you ever have any like cooking experience, or you just like food?
No, I mean, I had cooking experience. I was doing barbecue competitions, so I had got out of the car business and had a radio show.
Okay.
We're just glossing over
That's
too
a big
many
thing.
subjects here. So radio show.
Yeah.
What kind of radio show? What were you doing? Like what was that all about?
So I had a studio over at Clear Channel off of Frankfurt in the Tollway, and it was really cool because I'd never been in radio in my life, and I was really using it for the car business. It was also for a company that I started with another gentleman called Delivery Max, and it was a digital marketing firm, and I had created a phone app that tied into that. So this radio show was a way to kind of publicize my company while we're
nice.
talking about automobiles, and just it was more of a talk show too,
Sure, yeah.
But I was able to backdoor my app into my company and into the radio show.
Nice.
And kind of tie it all together. If you need digital marketing, I've got a company that there's a company called Delivery Max, which I am partner with and support, and this is what we do. And
Nice.
if you're interested, you want to see what we were about, go check it out. It was just a little snippet, but I was able to do those little snippets anytime I wanted to,
Yeah, that's great.
So, but it blew up, and we were in almost every dealership. This app, basically, you could, if you bought a car from a salesperson, all the salespeople would have the app on their phone, and it's called the D-Max app. And we always had, because it has two X's, we always had to say D-Max. It's DMAXX, so it's two X's. But so they would download the app, and they would take a picture of you as you're taking delivery of your car. They would do a thank you video and all these happy birthday videos, renewal videos, and it was all right there on the app. They would click send, and then my staff would send it out, and then the app would just do it automatically. So
Yeah.
the salesperson really never had to do anything, and the customer's getting a personalized touch. So anyway,
Great customer service. Yeah.
I did that, and then went to did the radio show, sold those off, and I had a company that I created called Face to Face, where it was almost like, before it was a big deal, it was facial recognition deal.
Okay.
And so you could talk to each other over the internet, but it would also pick up facial recognition on some other things you could do on social media at that time. So it was pretty neat. Then I had a company called Photomax, which I had a special camera created it was a Kodak camera, but we were able to use a code in that camera for a stock number that made us different from other photographers. So I'd send my photographers out to a dealership, and the car could literally be in front of a dumpster, and the photographer could take that photo, and he would upload that card, the memory card, into my software that we created just specifically for this, and it would read all those stock numbers and assign those pictures to that stock number, send them over, and my staff would take the background out and go through the windows, so it looked like it's in the forest instead of right in front of a dumpster. Sure, so it was all through Adobe and stuff like that. Back when nobody was really doing that.
And what year was this?
Yeah. That would have been 90.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That would have been 90. No, it would have been 2001. 2001.
Still well before.
Yeah,
Well,
2001.
Yeah,
People are doing
I think
that now.
That's a good number to reference there. Yeah, because nowadays you do that.
It's easy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much tradecraft went into these things in the past, right?
Yeah.
And nowadays we just have these programs that do it in the blink of an eye.
You can do it on your iPhone.
I remember, removing the
second.
background. Removing the background was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like, and that was a big process. Like, you had to hire someone for Photoshop. Like, and that was
Trace them out.
It was brain damage. You had to trace it out.
hours and hours. Of work.
And this is
God
all
forbid there's hair.
self-taught stuff too, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Now
I
it's
had to
AI.
learn it first.
Yeah.
And then
Early Photoshop.
then hire family and friends, at that point.
And if you're
then
good
you
at
start hiring like really good people, because you start making money in the pros.
But
You
then
start
you have
getting
to
the pros.
hire the software developers that could take that program and then create it and replicate it. What a brutal path. And I could get like some of the, some people, especially like photography, man.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be art. It used to be like film, and now you could take that. Like, the average is for a wedding is about 1,500 photos.
1,500 for a wedding.
1,500 photos for an average wedding. And I bet you, as I'm saying this, people are going, I'd take 3,000. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
If you're only doing 1,500, you're wrong.
yeah, you're doing it wrong. They have like 8 cameras on them and stuff. Anyway, so that's very interesting. I'm curious. So this serial entrepreneurship that's kind of struck you since a young age, are you finding raging success? Or are you finding like just crazy boredom in it? Like why do you take it, move on so quickly is it like what's the process going on here?
So it's most of it's just like you said, it's like almost like once I conquer it, it does get a little boring because what's the challenge now? So what's the next thing?
Yeah. So you're kind of like a startup guy.
And then flip them. Like I've got my restaurant, which I thought I would never be in that business at all.
One of the worst businesses to be in.
Light me on fire and kick me in the balls 10 times while I'm on fire. And hit me with the bat if I ever decided to. No, it's not. It's really not that bad. It's
We're expanding.
At first it was, but now it's kind of like on autopilot. We've got a great group of people that work for us. But when we first started, I was like, holy shit, there's a line out. It was pumped big time before we opened. It was like a big deal. So we had a line all the way around the building. Me and Jeff have who's my business partner.
Yeah.
Never been in the restaurant business before. We don't even know what the hell we're doing.
Sure.
And doors open, and I was like, oh, God, here we go.
Yeah.
They just start piling in. Everything that could go wrong went wrong right then. And computers went down.
Okay.
I couldn't take anybody's payment. My staff, the kitchen staff, put salt instead of sugar in the peach cobbler.
Oh no, man!
Put salt instead of sugar in the peach cobbler.
Oh no!
You do all this training and you think we're good to go, but everything literally it just imploded on itself.
Yeah.
It was like a supernova.
That's it.
Just imploded. It was horrible, but after that, all the brain damage that I had to go through and Jeff had to go through, our staff had to go through, because a lot of them, they were working for the dream. They wanted to help build this thing up, be a GM or something like that. Maybe we open more restaurants, maybe we partner with them or something. So they're working for the dream.
Sure.
And it was just me and Jeff slept on the stage a lot of times. Because the smoker, it's a barbecue restaurant.
24/7.
24/7. It don't stop. So we stayed there for a little bit. And then I was like, what the hell did we do?
Yeah, dude.
This is insane. Restaurant business sucks.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden things kind of turned around. And
So give me a timeline here. So when did you first start?
This would have been 7.5 years ago. So
Okay.
we've been open 7.5 years now.
So trials and tribulations aside, So you're finding these these young issues right here. Is like what am I doing? So when did that flip happen that you just said?
The flip would have happened, I would say, our 3rd year in.
Okay.
But COVID hit, which was
right at 3 years.
a kick in the balls as well, because right then we had to shut our doors. And there was a day me and Jeff came in and we had to let 49 employees go.
Wow.
And it was a sad
49?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Dear God, that's another thing about the restaurant business is the amount of staff required.
Yeah.
Labor.
Substantial.
Insanity.
Yep.
49 employees for one restaurant.
Yep. And it's not even a gigantic restaurant. I mean, we were voted #1 restaurant in Rockwall County this past year.
Nice.
So
Congrats.
it's a small venue, but a lot of people come in, so we have to, but they're not all full-time either. They're part-time. So we have some full-time and some managers and GM, regular staff. But as far as like our place though, we have bands that are booked out 9 months. We have karaoke on Wednesdays and Fridays and just live entertainment all the time. And our bar is sick. You'd have to come in and check out our bar. We got pickle shots, cherry bomb shots. I mean,
beautiful.
The place is just, it's cool. And it's kind of a country backyardish type deal.
Oh, that's excellent.
And
Yeah.
it's right there on the water too, right?
Yeah.
Right next to the water.
Right on the water. So we have garage doors we open up, and I mean, you're literally right there on the water.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, it's fine. We have cornhole. We play cornhole.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all play cornhole?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We're Texans, right?
Just a little bit. I get irritated every once in a while, but
Yeah, I keep losing. That's why. Yeah. So you're also involved. Out of the other many things that you do, you're also involved with TVP, a Texas Valor Project.
Correct.
So you're still a board member right now, or
not anymore. Okay. So because of the companies that I had,
sure.
One of them I was looking to do some transitioning on, and it was requiring a lot of my time.
Yeah,
a lot more of my time that I could put in and give TVP what it needed from me.
Sure.
And I knew I was just it was too much. It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
And the group is great.
Yeah.
I mean,
fantastic.
The best. And they actually they sent me through the program a couple of weeks ago. So
recently.
Yep.
Okay.
And we talked about that. That was
I'd love to hear
stuff.
about your experience.
So I went from
what caused, so you had TBI or
TBI.
Okay.
Yep. And then but yeah, when I was on the board, I was like, man, I would love to be able to go through this, at some point. Well, 3.5 weeks ago, I guess, Chris Dorward called me, and he was like, "You want to go through the program?" I'm like, "Well, hell yeah!"
It's your time.
Yep. And I had this bad stutter too, and it'll sneak up every now and then. It's almost like a Tourette's. It's wild. My face will be like, and you'll get that stare, like the person across from you is like. Yeah. No, everything's fine. I didn't see that, but they saw it because the way they're looking at you, they're like, "Holy shit, what just happened to this dude?"
It's a reset.
I'm like,
that's funny. Yeah,
I was the celebrity chef at the state fair for the past 5 years, and the second time I get up there, I haven't had a stutter in months.
Okay,
of course.
Yeah.
At that time. I get up there, the news is out there, the radio is out there, they mic me up and all that, and I'm like, I'm sitting there talking to whoever it is. They're like, "You're about to go up there and all this, and you ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready." I get up there and I was like talking normal. Get up there, hit that microphone. I was like, "Bleh." I was like, "Hi." I literally had to stop and I go, "Did y'all see that?" It's like I got a little bit of a stutter sometimes, and I guess it's going to turn on. And when it turned on, it was like all cylinders were on. We're firing.
Oh yeah!
It just couldn't stop.
It all came out in one sound.
It all came out in one sound. It was horrible.
It's a full remix. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But anyway, so I guess where were we?
Yeah, so you were going through treatment. So what let you? So you said you had a stutter beforehand. Was that an onset from something? Do you have a head injury?
It was the TBI. Yeah. Okay. And it just kind of all my wiring kind of just got mixed up, and I guess as far as stuff that's supposed to be released wasn't being released at the right appropriate times, and all this, it was just a mess up there. And so anyways, I got to go through the treatment, and the stutter seems to be gone.
Wow.
I have had a few moments where it's just like it'll sneak up and it'll my jaw will kind of do like this. But the whole stutter won't come out.
So now, it's reduced.
It's very well reduced, like
so
almost gone.
You've done one treatment?
One treatment.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's a compounding effect if you did a second
it's a
iteration.
2 weeks.
It's a 2 week, 2 week.
No, I understand that. Yes. Very, very familiar with that part. I'm very familiar with the program. But I mean a second 2 week iteration.
Oh, that would be...
if that would be, because sometimes you could chip away some of it, but you don't address all the issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
We just talked about that on our last episode is 1 or 2 treatments, usually could, negate a lot of the issues for TBIs. It doesn't eradicate it 100% of the time, the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. I mean, it was pretty intense treatment, and they throw it on you pretty quick. They do a whole detox cleansing, give you the vitamins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're deficient on, and just kind of get you back to equal.
Yeah. I know you're getting cocktails, right? So you're getting a Myers cocktail IV infusion pretty much daily, right? Or every other day?
I got the NAD every day, and I did the 600.
Oh, wow.
And the first time I did it, my face locked up.
And
I got the lobster hands. I got the lobster fingers.
Yeah.
And I was like this. And the lady came over.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I don't know. Is this normal? Is this normal? I don't know what's going on here. And literally my jaw was like this. And she goes, you want me to go get you some alcohol swabs to smell? And I'm like, yeah. And so she comes back over with the alcohol swabs and tries to hand them to me, but I got the lobster fingers.
Oh,
and she's
weird.
like trying to put them in. I'm like, can you just put them in my nose?
Yeah, just do it for me.
Oh my God.
My whole body was inflamed. I guess my mouth and my whole head, my neck, my whole body was inflamed.
From the NAD specifically? Yeah.
And the NAD attacks anything that's inflamed, and it's like a rapid cell growth treatment. And it, you know, it burns, but they say embrace the pain.
So you had so much systemic inflammation, essentially.
So much of it, yeah.
So the alcohol swabs, curious about that. What was your reaction to that?
They actually help, but it's supposed to help you for nausea.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really nauseous.
like
but it took my mind off of my mouth
curious.
being all by my ear, you know, and having the lobster.
Some smelling salts just freaking crack that off.
So, but after the second day was more manageable, doing the same 600 and then 600 the day after, to where I was doing my last day I did 614 minutes, which is pretty quick, you know, so it wasn't, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
That.
Well, your body's slowly reducing the inflammation over each day, right?
Yeah.
So what are the other? So outside of the injections or the infusions, you guys are doing things like hand-eye coordination, right? Where you're covering one eye and making movements, things along those lines.
Yeah. So they do a lot of that stuff. So like they'll do hearing in the eyes and balance and all this, but the eye movements stuff really does help. You don't think like putting your head up and down saying, you know, yes, and then doing no-nos, they call them no-nos, that's really doing anything, but you don't know what they're looking for.
Sure.
So, but, you know, as you're turning your head, your neck's kind of doing like, you know, it's kind of clicking as it's going.
Yeah.
At the end of the deal, it's like a smooth, you know, and you're like, oh, well, you know, I guess that helps doing something.
Sure.
And then you do this balance thing, where it's like you're almost on one of like a board and a roller, you know, trying to hold your balance.
Yeah.
And then they try to trick you. So you'll be wearing this virtual headset, and then you're on this little platform, and they'll make the ramp, you know, to your toes, and then it's going back. So it's like trying to throw you off of balance. And then they'll do it the opposite way and side to side, and you just kind of keep your balance on it. And you know, I was shit at first. I was all over the place, and then at the end, I could have stood on a needle. You know, it was dramatic changes, and especially the eye stuff that you were talking about. My eyes look like a
So nystagmus.
Yeah,
So your erratic eye movement.
It was all over the place, and I had no idea. Even when they made me read a paragraph and nobody's around, but they track your eye movement.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like it looked like a 3-year-old with a red crayon on
Just all over the place.
It was just all over the place. At the end, it was just almost perfectly straight.
I forget the terminology for the eye trick.
Like the EMDR?
EMDR.
The therapy?
EMDR.
Yeah.
That's right. That's pretty interesting stuff to check for a lot of neurological issues for sure. So you got a concussion?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you tell me like what the concussion was, or
It just happened in the military, and I played some football too.
Was it blunt force or was it micro? Okay,
blunt
so
force.
you have a specific incident where you hit your noodle pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So so that helped you out quite dramatically.
Dramatically, yeah. Because my stutter started soon after that.
Okay.
After the concussion. So I've never really had that before.
Wow.
And
That's interesting.
So I've had it since I was a kid.
Yeah, so you dealt it with, for more than 20 years. You've been dealing with this.
Yeah.
And just a couple of weeks ago, it's gone.
Yes. Yep.
That's very interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Okay.
So me talking to you like this doesn't happen normally.
Really?
Yeah. And a lot of people that know me in Rockwall, I'll seclude myself whenever it's kicked in.
Okay.
Full boat. So most of them don't even know that I even had a stutter, and I wouldn't talk a whole lot just for that reason when I was out.
That's an interesting note too, is the kind of psychological impact that has on your character as well.
Yeah.
So I want to talk, I want to be involved, but now I'm going to self-isolate because I'm self-conscious about this issue.
Yeah. And you almost, are almost tired of like explaining yourself. Like,
Just have a card, like business card.
You ever watch The Joker where he laughs continuously?
Yeah.
And he has that little card. He's like, I have a problem.
Yeah. Just leave me alone. I've got a problem. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. So hit on the noodle pretty hard, and but you've been having this issue since you were a kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So how did that affect? So in your childhood, how did that affect you as well? Because that as you're an adult, you get a little bit more used to it, right?
Yeah.
Especially with years and years. But like kids had to be brutal.
Well, it wasn't really. It was after the Marine Corps.
It got way worse.
That's when it started getting like really, really bad.
Okay.
And that's when it was like really embarrassing being, at first. Now I just laugh it off. I'm like,
Is what it
I got a tick. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
well,
what it is.
They got a show on TLC for that nowadays, I think.
Is there?
It's the girl who has Tourette's.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I've seen it.
And
Some of them are bad.
brutal.
I mean,
brutal,
God,
man. Can you imagine?
That's
like
so sad.
And her, yeah. Anyway,
Well, I'm curious if it would work for people who suffer from Tourette's. You know,
think?
this transcranial magnetic stimulations.
Yeah.
Obviously did
It's a
something for you.
rewire issue.
Yeah. I mean, it could absolutely play a
They
part.
put, what is that magnet deal that they put? I think it's called TMS.
TMS, yeah.
transcranial magnetic
So
stimulation.
that stimulates. It's like a big magnet, and it just almost feels like a little shock on your head. I think it's like a little shock.
Yeah.
From what I feel, but it's supposed to stimulate your frontal lobe.
Yeah.
And they were saying like mine was just like kind of all over the place.
Interesting.
Like it just wasn't really doing. Everything was faster in my body than what was coming from my brain.
Gotcha. Yeah, the inputs you're trying to make are slower in the brain than the body. Yeah. That makes sense why you would have a stutter then, right?
Yeah.
Because your brain's trying to catch up to what your body's performing.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense. So,
But now that seemed to help as well. So
I mean, let me ask you a bear question. How's your mental health been the last couple of weeks with this newfound like relief, I guess?
calm,
Yeah. Okay.
like not so stressed, not so I need to get this done. Thinking about 10,000 things. It's like it's strange. It's like
Peaceful almost.
yeah, it's like all the way down into my chest, down to my gut. You know,
Okay.
it's like just calm.
Oh, very good.
It's surreal. Used to it was like hype, just so tense, and it was affecting everything on me, and literally it's just calm. I used to drink quite a bit, and I own a bar, so I bought a party for the rest of my life, and you kind of get in the mix of all that, and personal things and stuff like that. Just started drinking, and it's weird because I haven't even wanted a drink. I haven't even had the desire, and I was drinking pretty good. I was getting it going.
Sure. Yeah.
And for me to not want to drink is good. And
Awesome.
Another thing is like we've gone this far. Like why just jack it up now?
Right.
And then so many people, are kind of believing in me to go through the program and spend the donation on me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to screw that up,
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So temperament as well. Quick to anger before this.
Big time.
Yeah.
For no reason. Sometimes like unprovoked.
Okay.
Literally like
Small things would really upset you for all day.
I
Maybe.
could get upset being in a room by myself.
Yeah.
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 And what's even weirder is I don't know if it was because of the tick that I had at that time, not, whenever it would kick in and I would seclude myself, and maybe it's just depression or whatever, but you could say cry and I could literally cry, and I'm a grown man,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm not saying it's bad to cry,
No, but
but
with right place, right time.
right. Yeah,
I allow
exactly.
myself 7 minutes a day to cry. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I was like, that's a lot of time.
7 minutes,
Every
and then I
day?
stop.
You look at yourself in the mirror.
Of course, I look in the mirror while I cry.
The timer goes off and it just stops.
Yeah,
Right, making
stop
eye contact
and then
with the
move
tongue.
on.
Yeah. Back to anger.
7 minutes once a week. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. 7 minutes a day is a lot.
That's better.
That is
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, I like crying.
But yeah, so but the anger thing, it's always that rage for no reason. And that's the other thing. I'm just happy, like, it's almost like I've turned over a new leaf, and
Sure.
I try to see the good in people, instead of like bad things,
Yeah.
or everybody's out to get me or whatever it is, whatever was going through my freaking head, who knows, at that time. But yeah, it was quick trigger, and that's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I'm hoping that's one of my goals, because I'm engaged right now. And last thing I want to do is screw that up by, reverting back to being angry again, because I'm happy.
Yeah.
I've got everything to be happy about,
Sure.
and so there's no reason to be upset or tense or have anxiety, and just all these things. Anxiety's the worst.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
By far. I would rather have that anything else but anxiety, because your heart feels like it's going to jump out of your chest. You can't stop it.
Nope.
And it's just like, it just breaks you completely down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have any methods or tricks you use?
I do a box method.
Box breathing?
Box breathing.
Box breathing.
Yeah.
That seems to really help me on the spot, because it forces me to breathe correctly,
Yeah.
and more than I would typically want to breathe. And
Yep.
for those that don't know, I guess what a box breathing is, you take an invisible box, put it on your head, and you just breathe in and out of each corner all the way around the box so you get to the bottom, and boom.
Yep.
And
Pop it off.
And another one was where they took a diet and they put it, and you had to follow the diet, and that they take you deep into meditation quickly though. And I forgot what it was called, but EMDR or something like that.
Yeah. EMDR.
EMDR.
Okay.
Yeah. So the rapid eye movement.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, you can almost train yourself to not have the dot in front of you and do it yourself. But it's like they take you so deep in a level to where you can calm down. So it's like, all right, where would you like to be right now? Okay, let's say it's a beach. Okay, so you're on the beach. All right, breathe. And then where are you at on the beach? All right, I'm halfway in the water and I'm halfway in the sand. Okay. Can you feel the sand? I want you to feel the sand, and I want you to feel the water. So now you're where you want to be. You're feeling the sand. You're feeling the water. You can actually feel it. Now I want you to smell the air.
Yeah.
Can you smell this? Can you smell it? You can smell the sea? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Now I want you to hear things. Can you hear the seagulls? Yeah, I can hear seagulls. You're there. Okay. And it takes training, but you can get there really quick.
Oh yeah.
And everything's good.
You got to be so open to it though, too.
Yeah.
You got to be really open to it. Otherwise, if you have that split moment where you're like, this is ridiculous. Of course, there's not seagulls around.
Yeah.
That ruins the entire
Pulls it
process.
right out.
Of course. Yeah. It's almost, you gotta be accepting of it.
Yeah.
You gotta
Submit to it.
Yeah.
submit to it. Yeah. And there's situations you can't do that, technique, but the box method is pretty simple. You can pretty much just walk away, go in a room real quick, go into the office or go in the hallway.
Yeah.
And it takes you a minute.
Yeah, I think it's a big problem for men especially. Is just, this feels silly. I'm not going to do that.
It's
Yeah.
lame.
Yeah,
one of those.
super lame. and like you have to, you do have to be like these modalities. You do have to be susceptible to doing it.
Yeah.
I will say like this. Like psychedelics, so we talk about this all the time. You can't fight that.
Yeah.
You could try.
You can try, but it's going to make it worse for you for sure.
You can certainly try. Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that's a good note too. Is going into these programs willing to make a difference too. That makes a big difference. And talking with Doc G and her team as well. There is people that go in and they just check the box and they're not all in sometimes.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference, right?
Yeah.
And so your mindset was like, hey, I want to address this, right?
Yeah, and it's not just it is for myself, okay?
Yeah.
It is for me. And I'm going in there fully knowing that it's going to take a commitment. It's going to take me doing things I don't want to do. I got to change some of my diet, because they give you a diet based off of your blood type. So if you're bloated all the time, it's probably because you're eating the wrong foods.
Sure.
So that was pretty neat. And then it's just you have to be committed. You have to be willing. You have to kind of humble yourself, let your ego go, and if you want it to happen, it'll happen.
Sure.
But yeah, as far as like if you go in and also people are donating this money
Yes.
for you to be there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're
take it seriously.
Not only they worked hard for that money.
Yeah.
And they're donating it for you to be there. Mm-hmm. Don't be a dipshit and let them down either by just coming right out and just letting it all go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, that you're letting everybody down, including yourself and your family, because this could literally save it could save a lot of things. It could save your company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Save company, life, marriage, kids.
And did it for you. Like how is your, working relationship gone? Like how's the restaurant doing from
It's
this?
funny you said that, because yesterday me and Jeff had a conversation. He was like, damn, you look different, because it was the first time we've seen each other for a bit. It's like, you just look different. God dang, in 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
And I was like, yeah. And I've got photos I got to show you of the before and after. I was
going to ask about that. Yeah.
One eye's kind of hanging down, and and then now I'm like all like I ate a bowl of sunshine.
Ate a bowl of sunshine. Yeah.
Yeah, and then but he was like, "Hey, you just look different." And I have energy now. I'm waking up at like 5:30 in the morning and eating breakfast, like good breakfast. I never did that. I mean, I would go to noon sometimes and then eat a giant lunch and then eat again at 10 o'clock at night. Now it's like I'm just eating right throughout the day, and not that I'm even trying. Like, it's like I just wake up at 5, get up, make a badass breakfast, and
That's why follow through in homework assignments that these guys give you is so important, because we know that the body is extremely trainable. We know the mind is extremely trainable. It takes about 2 weeks to form a habit, right? And even if this program worked for 2 weeks, it gives you the tools necessary to start waking up at 5:30, to start eating a healthy breakfast and stuff, so that way, by the time you get 2-3 weeks goes by and you're doing this consistent behavior, that's the new normal.
Yeah.
So that's really incredible. So you're doing the homework assignments as well. And
well, I'm just I got the text today. Okay. So they're supposed to be sending me the homework assignments. I've been doing a follow-up tomorrow.
Good.
Doing a follow-up with Dr. G.
Yeah.
So and then then after that, it'll just be on the regiment.
And that's what I'm going to say is, advice on seeing, hundreds of people go through, different therapies across all spectrums, and a lot through Doc G as well, is do the homework assignments, do the necessary things that they tell you, as silly as it may seem. And on days that are harder, especially do them even more, like make it a point to go out of your way to do it more. Journaling is a huge thing that should be implemented into what you're doing now.
I'm going to do that
every day. And it doesn't have to be extensive. Go on Amazon. There's a thing called a 5-minute journal.
Yeah.
On Amazon. And you could purchase that thing, and it gives you prompted questions. How did you feel? What did you do? What was the highlights of your day? What negative thoughts you had? And you're done.
Yeah.
Right? And
5-7 minutes.
Start or finish your day like that with your box breathing, some direct sunlight,
That was another thing.
Oh, yeah.
Vitamin D.
Yeah, we are all deficient in this country from vitamin D.
She said I was the record holder. Dr. G said I was the record holder. It was a 1.
Yeah, I could tell because you match your shirt.
That was the tick isolation that I had. The tick isolation will do that to you.
Yeah.
Vitamin D and sun go out the window. Literally. So I'm like the sun. I'm like a vampire. But no, they put me on all this vitamin D3. Maybe that's what's got me jacked up.
Vitamin D3. Yeah, for sure.
Life right now.
Sure. It's a huge thing. Yeah, it is. It's a huge deficiency, and Christian and I are huge with supplementation and making sure to get our blood work done every 3 to 4 months with Transcend and see where we're at. And vitamin D is always a balance. It's always a balance. And it took me a while to just get my supplementation correct. on that as well. Definitely deficient. I know you were too.
Yeah, my vitamin D levels are ridiculous now.
Really?
I'm in the 60s.
Yeah. So that's really important. But journaling, that is, it's so undervalued, so underappreciated in today's world, and it's so important. It helps you compartmentalize. It actually rewires your brain too, to help you store and appreciate those memories. What was I doing on this day?
Yeah.
So keeping those consistent behaviors with your offboarding process as well is very important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, and they gave me the little popsicle sticks with the stickers on them to do some homework at home, with the ice stuff. And
Nice.
so I got that, and then you've seen that rotation deal that they have. They put you in. It's like a theme park ride.
Oh yes, yeah.
I told them, I was like, I want to put this on jet fighter G-force simulation level.
Yeah.
10 G's, baby.
Yeah, my eyes were already going like this without it, So, I can only imagine what it would have been like if they truly did. But it was pretty neat. Everything they do is really cool. Even the gym, we went to the gym and it's no joke. Oh, by the way, they put me on the detox. When you're detoxing, you smell like if a foot had an asshole on it. That's what I smelled like. Okay,
So
I was
probably
detoxing
the
like
ammonia, like an ammonia smell.
Yeah, and I was detoxing at that time. And here's this in shape, lady instructor, and she's over here putting me in positions, and I literally know I smell like shit. And I'm like, oh no. She goes, oh no, this is horrible. She goes, hey, I never take a shower. And I was like, I think I smell. I don't know what that is. I'm probably detoxing or something.
Yeah, my bad.
She was like, don't worry about it. I was like, but it's pretty embarrassing.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's funny. It's like it's like I hear this story all the time. Like the guys who were injured in combat and stuff. They got like 2 missing legs and a missing arm and burns all over their body, and they're like, "Sorry, my hair's not done." And you're like, dude, you're okay, man. Like, you were here for a reason.
It is A-okay. It's fine.
It's okay. Yeah.
They're probably used to stuff like that anyways.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you're probably not the worst.
I'm probably not.
Probably not the worst.
That's
So
it. And you recognize it too. It's just addressing it's half the issue.
Yeah. Right. So now you have an understanding, I guess, of what you've been fundraising for and what Texas Valor Project's been working towards.
Yeah, it's a whole new perspective. Going through it is eye-opening. You walk through the facility, when I was on the board, go through the facility, but you just don't have that respect of, going through the entire program. Once you do, then you can tell everybody about it,
You'll evangelize at that point.
And it's a no-brainer,
Yeah.
A no-brainer.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So what's next for you now that you feel this kind of reinvigorated life that you're going through? What's next for you?
I think I'm gonna on the side with having the restaurant Sideways. I'm gonna start a floating water park company with my fiance. So we're gonna do these and try to do these kind of all over international. So
No kidding. Okay.
yeah, they're like I could do it on Lake Gray Hubbard, but the city of Dallas owns the lake, so it's kind of a little bureaucracy I got to go through and all that.
So it's a floating what?
Water park.
Floating water park.
We're talking
very
like
cool.
big,
Yeah.
big one. Okay.
Yeah.
Like with the bouncies and all that stuff
Yeah.
on there, and you could do flips and.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I like the big tube that you could jump off and it launches.
Yeah.
The blob thing.
So-
That sort
like
of
that?
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll show you guys
That's
here
awesome.
in a little bit.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And then, start those. But it's like you can only keep those open for like 6 to 8 months here.
Okay.
Great scenarios.
Yeah.
Or I could do them, all over the place. Go to like, I don't know, the Virgin Islands or
Cancun.
Yeah.
and where I can keep them open all year long.
Oh yeah.
And it's low labor.
Yeah.
So insurance is everybody thinks that the insurance is going to be real bad, but it's not really that bad.
It's fairly low impact. I mean,
Yeah, it's
probably
like-
like Carnival insurance or something, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. As long as you don't have a trampoline on it.
Okay.
The trampoline, even if it's like 4-foot trampoline,
That's what changes it
Changes the game.
to like gymnasium or something.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like,
Interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
so just don't put the trampoline on there.
Well, it's all bouncy.
But you gotta
anyways,
have
yeah.
a trampoline.
No, you just get that thing that you were talking about where you just
Nice.
That's
jump
way
off the
better-
thing
that's
and
way
yeah,
bigger,
it launches
right?
you like
Sweet.
through the stratosphere.
Yeah.
just like
Trampoline, 10 feet.
Yeah.
The blob, 70 feet.
50 foot high
Out of
dive.
control.
50-foot high dive on
Yeah.
there. And some counterweights that he's got a weighted vest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
God
it's-
forbid you have a trampoline, though.
And it's going to have like this water gun that's like high powered. That's
Oh,
like
nice.
on a
Nice.
tower. You can just shoot
Pretty much
everybody.
a water
and
pressure gun.
Yeah.
Like just peel skin off.
peel it right off. Like it'd be like a laser cut.
This sounds like the best water park I've ever been to.
This sounds awesome.
And we'll have floating gazebos out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
very cool.
And the only customer is the Navy SEAL. Now it's a tactical training water park. That's great. Well, that's awesome that you're all over the place and interesting subjects, and you kind of just pursue them and make them happen. So it sounds like you're in a better place too, and that's the best part. So we're glad to see these therapies and these modalities work so well.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been life changing.
Yeah, fantastic.
Love to see it. Well, do you have anything for the audience before we,
No, just
words of wisdom or?
if just thank you guys for tuning in first off, and but yeah, look up the Texas Valor Project. If you feel like you want to give something to a good cause, this is a very, very good cause.
Yeah.
And I think it's TexasValor.com is their website, and there should be a donation.
Is it maybe a .org?
I think it's .org.
Is it .org?
I
Okay,
believe it's .org.
It'll be in the link in the little bio below. So
perfect.
we'll figure out what it is. It'll be clickable.
Texas Valor Project.
And
so Google that one. Dallas, Texas.
Get to help us, veterans out, and
Yeah.
you can see it's worked on me. Pretty
Obviously,
well,
yeah, it's working, yeah.
So this conversation would have gone completely south if the stutter was really prominent.
Might have just been longer, but
Yeah, just been longer.
well, I'm glad it worked for you, man. I'm glad to see you happy and
Yeah.
things are going well. So
And your restaurant, where can we find that at in?
It's in
information.
Rockwall, right on the harbor. It's past the second bridge. It's right next door to the Hilton, right next door to Doty's, and so yeah, we have live bands.
Sideways.
Sideways, and
Sideways.
it's barbecue.
excellent.
Rockwall,
Voted-
Texas.
Voted best in Rockwall County.
Heck yes. And you didn't bring us any meats to
I
enjoy.
didn't bring any meats.
This is a damn shame. I'm in this game for the freebies.
The meats.
The meats, God damn it. All right. Well, we appreciate you once again. Great thing about the Medevac podcast is we stay in touch with everybody. So want to continue to track your project progress, maybe have you back on after doing maybe 6 months of these homework assignments and seeing if it's a continuing cycle for you. So
I'd be happy to.
thanks again, brother.
Awesome.
All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate your time. This has been the Medevac Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Like we said at the beginning of the show, share it with a friend or family member. Interact with the content somehow, because we would do the same for you. We'll see you next week.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.